It is Medical Monday here on today's THV, and all day we'll be focusing on health issues that are important to you. First up this morning, Dr. Morgan Sauer with the St. Vincent Longevity Center. And this morning we're talking about a recent study suggesting diet soda may not raise the risk of diabetes after all. Good morning, Dr. Sauer.
Good morning.
This is interesting. Explain this a little bit.
All right, we know that NutraSweet actually raises blood insulin levels after we consume it. And this is what happens when we normally eat. And the idea is that higher insulin levels lead to increased body fat deposition, which then leads to insulin resistance, which then leads to diabetes. And there have been some studies that suggested that, you know what, diet sodas may not be all they're cracked up to be and may be causing us to get diabetes. So in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition, Dr. Frank Hugh from Harvard looked at 40,000 participants from 1986 to 2006. So followed them over a 20-year period using surveys about their dietary habits and also about their medical conditions. What came back was that diet soda drinkers actually didn't have an increased risk for diabetes that couldn't be attributed to other factors such as weight, which we know is one of the biggest indicators for diabetes.
And you mentioned NutraSweet. That's the sweetener in these beverages. Does that give kind of that sugar high that we're talking about when you mentioned how it relates to insulin?
It gives mostly the taste of it. Probably the high that comes from a soda would be from the caffeine component of it.
Okay, now talk a little bit more about the study. It was out of Harvard. It followed men over 20 years, and it had the participants fill out a questionnaire about their medical conditions and their dietary habits. I mean, how interesting. What else have we learned from this?
Well, we did see in the study that people that consumed a carbonated sugary drink at least once a day had a significantly higher risk of turning diabetic as compared to people in this study who did not drink that sugary carbonated beverage. We also saw that it wasn't just sugary beverages because they had people in it that like sweet tea and had lemonade, and those people didn't have the increased risk. Additionally, it appeared that guys that drank regular coffee or decaf coffee at least 1 cup a day had a lower risk of diabetes in this study.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder what the correlation is there. That's interesting.
That's great science. It's time to find out and figure out what the new answer is.
Okay, and did you also say there was a piece about stroke in this research?
In this piece, no, they didn't actually report any stroke data. However, there are ongoing studies looking at increased stroke risk in people who drink a lot of diet sodas. So is the question that people who are drinking diet sodas are typically overweight, which increases your risk for stroke, or is it something unique in these drinks that may be causing more harm?
Okay, so the bottom line, drink a cup of coffee today.
Drink a cup of coffee.
And the diet soda's okay?
If you just
We're
have
not going that far.
If you just have to have it, okay. But look at something more healthy. Milk, great with calcium, vitamin D, or just plain old water. It's cheap and it's one of the best things for us out there.
I love it. And you said tea and lemonade, there was not an increased risk for diabetes.
No, there wasn't for some reason.
Okay, interesting, because you can still put all the sugar in tea or lemonade.
Well, you can, yes. I don't recommend that every once in a while, but enough's enough.
All right, Dr. Morgan Sauer, thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.